Hello, I'm Luke Peterson of Utah Valley University. It's my pleasure today to moderate this guided discussion with our candidates for Utah County Commission Seat C. We've got Larry Ellertson, our current County Commissioner for the seat, and his challenger, Lauren Grierson. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
We want to jump right into this and get started here. I want to start with you, Commissioner Ellertson, just ask you, give us in a minute what experience you feel qualifies you to lead in this role.
In addition to having served in the county position for a period of time and also serving as mayor of a community here in the Valley, Linden City, my background is as a certified public accountant. I have worked in a variety of leadership positions in companies, primarily with Utah Power, back in the day when it was Utah Power. And I believe that I have seen issues from both the management perspective, from an audit perspective, as well as from a working perspective of what it takes to run a county and the variety of things that we get involved in. It's not a simple answer when someone asks, what does a county do or what does a county commissioner do? It's a wide variety of things and requires a number of disciplines.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Grierson?
Thank you. I think the answer to that question is best summed up with my work experience. I have basically been the president, CEO, and vice president of a number of different corporations. I've lived in Utah County over 30 years, but I keep moving away and coming back as different positions have opened up that I've needed to take care of. I've also had my own businesses here in Utah County. I've owned 3 different businesses and successfully grown those and actually have sold those at this particular point. So I have the business acumen necessary to be able to bring good business common sense to the Utah County Commission. I also have been a civic leader. I've been a volunteer and worked in a number of different organizations and have good leadership skills, and my main strength is in long-term strategic planning. I think that's probably the thing that will help me the most as I look forward to this new challenge of Utah County Commissioner.
Great. Just turning again to you, Mr. Grierson, what, if elected, what would your top priorities be in the first year or 2 of your administration?
I think my top priority would be to look at the amount of growth that we're going to have in Utah County over the next several years. As you probably are aware by anybody's estimation, we're going to double again in size. We're already over 500 and about 50,000 people in Utah County, and we're estimated to go up over 1 million people. And it's been a long-standing policy of the county commissioners to discourage any type of development in unincorporated areas. And by default, that to me means that there is no long-term plan. I'm concerned about putting together the right infrastructure, the right amount of growth that we need to have in order to assure the quality of life that we have in Utah County. I love the quality of life we have. I want to see it maintained, and the only way to make sure of that is through a good, solid, long-term strategic plan for our county.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Ellertson?
Statutorily, you'll see that one of the primary responsibilities of a county commission is that of fiscal responsibility, budgetary control, and making certain that the county is fiscally sound. And we are recognized as the best managed county in the state. I think we're doing well there. Now, having said that, that's part of a larger issue of what the primary issues are, and that is that we continue to work with the other local governments in the area to plan for and to deal with the growth that does occur. We do have a plan. We don't restrict all growth in the county. It's just that we don't encourage dense growth there. We leave that with the cities who have plans that deal with the infrastructure that they have being expanded to serve as the county does expand and grow. So we work together, and that's probably the important thing that I see, is that we continue to have good working relationships with all local governments.
Okay, great. Turning to a timely topic, we just recently completed the Utah Valley Convention Center. Just wanted to ask, starting with you, Commissioner, do you feel that was a worthy project? Is it cost effective? Do you feel it's going to fulfill all the promises associated with it?
The convention center is but about a month in operation now, and it has brought a number of meetings and groups of people into the convention center. We have events scheduled throughout the remainder of this year and into future years. The premise of building the convention center is that it would bring people in, and then it would introduce people by coming into business meetings and so forth to the valley, and that would then cause them to return. And if you look at the studies that were done in looking at this and the encouragement that we received from the business community, that's what drove our building the convention center. And the studies indicated that if you look at the overall benefit to the businesses, it's somewhat of a public-private partnership, although maybe not in the traditional sense, in the fact that one of the main reasons you have it is to spur the economy and to help businesses increase their business. The studies show, and I'm optimistic at this point in time, that will in fact happen and is beginning to happen at this point in time.
Great. Your thoughts, Mr. Gerson?
The building of the convention center has obviously been very had a lot of concern for a lot of people, been very controversial. But like Mr. Ellertson, I hope that the convention center will end up being something that will bring the types of businesses that and people into the county that we want to bring into the county. However, my biggest concern is I would like to see the county out of the business of being in business wherever possible. And I'd like to see it turned over to the private sector to be able to have the responsibility for generating the revenues that are necessary there rather than having to be supported under a management structure with the county. So I'd like to see wherever possible for the county to be out of the business of being in business. And I think that the convention center falls under that category.
Okay.
May I just clarify?
Yes, absolutely.
We do actually have a contract with a private entity who does manage the convention center for us. And in that contract, there are incentives in place to encourage them to do what they have told us they believe they can. That within 5 years or so, they believe that it can be on standalone. And we're encouraging them to fulfill that through that contract.
Thank you. A related topic, obviously everyone's concerned about the state of the economy, where we've been recently and what the future holds. What would you do, Mr. Gerson, starting with you, in a few minutes? Just tell us what you would do to promote economic development, both in regards to recruitment and job growth from companies already here in the Valley and entrepreneurs.
I think that's one of the most important things that we have to do over the next several years is to have a very aggressive marketing plan for economic development. We need to do more than what we've been doing in the past in working with the people in the state that are already helping us to develop some of those relationships with other businesses. When I worked with Western Governors University, I worked with all of the 19 Western governors and with all of the Fortune 500 companies. And what they told us they were looking for was a qualified workforce that were very technical in nature and also had good work ethic. And as I thought about it, Utah County fits that bill absolutely completely. What we need to do is make sure that people understand more about Utah County. Most people, other than the fact that we have beautiful parks in southern Utah and that we held the Olympics, don't know a great deal about our county. And we need to actively market to bring the kinds of businesses that we need into the county and strategically place them throughout the county so that we have agricultural businesses, we have commercial businesses, industrial businesses, technological businesses, and allow for our development to happen both east and west, not just only north and south along the freeway.
Okay, great. Commissioner?
We do live in a wonderful place, and people, when they see it, they recognize that we do have a certain quality of life, and that tends to attract some businesses here. There are certain elements that we will continue to work on to make sure that we meet the family values of people and employees as they move to the Valley. We do have an active recruitment effort of people who live in other states who are actually recruiting businesses there to come here. In addition, our role from the county, we believe, is to continue to work in county government so that we stay out of the way of business. We not interfere with them. We allow them to do their role, and we attempt to do our role in terms of providing some of the governmental services and or infrastructure needs that are needed to support those businesses. But the efforts we're seeing is that there are probably more businesses right now that are looking into Utah County. I believe our current list is somewhere around 40 active looks at Utah County for businesses to come in. So we are very actively involved in that, and we will continue to be so through contracts and other arrangements, including our working with the cities within Utah County. They also are partners in this economic development effort. We don't do anything alone. We work as a team, and I think we have a very good relationship with everyone working in that effort.
Great. Kind of the flip side of that question, obviously we've mentioned that we're projected to have a great deal of growth in the next couple of decades. Is there any hope and any way that you foresee of preserving any of the rural aspects of the county, and is that a priority for you?
It is a priority, and it's part of our general plan that we have in the county. We recognize that agriculture is a very important part of our economy. In fact, up until last year, Utah Valley had more agricultural receipts than any other county in the state. And the only reason that we fell from number 1 to number 2 was because the price of pork was extremely high last year. And so Beaver County slipped to number 1. But with the price of pork this year, we think we're going to regain number 1. Okay. And we do work with, we have an active involvement with our Planning and Zoning Committee, who also has our Agricultural Protection Committee, which serves and looks at those opportunities and determines whether or not agriculture protection zones are appropriate, and brings that information to us, and we work with the agricultural community to try and preserve that while not stepping on the private property rights of individuals who do have an interest in doing something else with their property. We work with the state in an effort to try and look for ways to preserve open space in the case where that is appropriate to do. And so there's a multifaceted approach that we take. And then 2, we work with communities to look for opportunities to annex out from their communities if people are looking to build, develop, so that we encourage the open space and the agricultural pursuits to be able to be maintained.
Great.
As I look at that question, it comes back again to the master plan. It's very important for us to have our agricultural areas, and it's a very high priority for me. That's one of the reasons why I'm interested in making sure that we have those rights protected. We need that plan to make sure we have our agricultural areas, our commercial areas, our industrial areas, to know where the roads are going to go, where the water is going to come from, to be able to understand what's necessary to preserve the quality of life that we have. At the same time, maintaining personal property rights. That's a very high priority. We've worked very hard in this country to have the freedoms that we have and the rights that we have. And to preserve those are frankly one of the main jobs of the county commissioner, is to ensure the personal rights of each citizen. As a matter of fact, if you read the job description of a county commissioner, it is to ensure that the state, the actual constitution of the state is maintained, and that the personal rights of the individuals are maintained. And so these rights fall into a larger category, of course, as we're starting to put this plan together. We need to look at the green spaces, we need to look at the, as I said, the agricultural areas that we want to have, and make sure that people know well in advance how long it's going to take before we're going to be coming into those areas. It takes a tremendous amount of time to get anything done. I've heard studies of 1.5 to 2 hours just with environmental studies before we can get an exit off of the freeway. Well, with that kind of long-term planning that needs to be done, the further out we can look, the sooner we can look at those long-term plans, the better. And that's the only way we're going to protect those agricultural areas and protect the quality of life that we have.
Great. Our final question is another timely issue regarding UTA. There was a recent news article that detailed the fact that UTA has been a heavy lobbyer of state and federal lawmakers. Question I had for both of you to wrap up is, do you feel that this knowledge, this revelation in any way affects your opinion of Front Runner? Is it still an important asset? What is your position on it? How does this knowledge affect that position?
We need to look at all aspects of rapid transit within our community and how we tie to the rest of the state. I think Front Runner is a step. I am concerned about some of the things I've heard about the costs, you know, for Front Runner and some of the things specifically with UTA. But I think the most important thing is that we need to get the process started. And I'm glad to hear that, you know, we're going to have an ability to be able to get around from not only the stop stations that we're going to have through the Front Runner, through the bus system that we have. That's very important to be able to have that ability to be able to transfer. But again, everything is north and south, and we've got a lot of people that want to find out what we can do east and west as well. We've got a lot of outside communities that don't feel like they're getting the type of attention that the rest of the population is getting, and so we need to look at that. So Front Runner, yes, I think it's important as a first step.
I think your question had to do with the specifics of the lobbying, if I'm understanding that correctly. It has been recognized just recently in the media that there's a significant investment in lobbying, and there's no question that that's part of the process. I wish that wasn't as much a part of the process as it is. I think that the value in that comes to the fact that we are seeing results. We are seeing Front Runner and transit coming to Utah County. We'll provide, yes, a north-south spine, but then that will promote additional transit services back into the communities. As we see what's happened in Salt Lake Valley, the first thing that came was the north-south spine. We're now seeing east-west connections to that are growing and developing. The first step here will be with buses. We're looking at BRT or bus rapid transit, possibly streetcars. And streetcars today aren't what you might think they are. It's a technology that is less expensive than some of the other rail options, but it is very nice transportation. So a robust transportation system is an investment. That's part of what the lobbying effort has been, is an investment in bringing those assets to the residents of the state of Utah.
Great. Commissioner Ellertson, Mr. Grierson, thank you very much for your time. Good luck to both of you in the primary election. I'm Luke Peterson. It's been my pleasure to be your moderator today. Please get out and vote in our primary June 26th. And thank you for watching.
My name is Larry Ballard. I'm the Constitution Party candidate for the County Commission seat in Utah County. I'm a retired fire marshal for Orem City. I actually spent 27 years doing that. Also got involved in the national code arena. So I've been involved in code administration and code development for quite a long time. The reason I'm running for office is I ran across Agenda 21. Now, a lot of people don't know what Agenda 21 is. It's a United Nations agreement that has global implications, but they come in at a local level. I originally read this book. It's called Behind the Green Mask, United Nations Agenda 21 by Rosa Chiori. And in that, she kind of explains how these planning and zoning issues can be implemented to socially engineer us at a local level. She recommended a book, well, didn't recommend it. She talked about a book called Growing Smart, a Legislative Guidebook. It's a large book. I've read the first volume. This is the second volume. If you go to my webpage, I have a little bit of an analysis to let you understand that this has direct implications with our property rights, okay? Another issue that I'm going to be addressing is the Utah State Legal Tender Act. Utah State Legal Tender Act was signed by Governor Herbert in 2011. And what it allows us to do is use gold and silver as an alternate form of money. Why would the state do this? The state did this because they're a little bit concerned about our money supply. So as a county commissioner, one of the things that I am pursuing, whether I get elected or not, is to try and motivate the county to use gold and silver as a means of payment for property tax in accordance with that state law. It's just a matter of probably mechanism as much as anything. Another issue that I'll deal with is property tax. Did you know that our founding fathers really didn't like the idea of property tax? Our freedoms are based on our ability to own property, and property tax actually flies in the face of that. Today is June the 12th. The state of North Dakota actually has a referendum on this particular issue, and they're voting whether to do away with property tax or not. Now, I realize this is a state issue, but I think a county commissioner should take a look at this. Interestingly enough, doing away with property tax, which only takes up about property tax only takes up about 1/4 of the monies that's needed for county government. This is something that could actually motivate the economy as well as to reduce the costs of government. Another issue is Common Core curriculum. Now, why would a county commissioner be involved with county core curriculum? One of the last bastions of sovereignty that the state of Utah has is education. And the issues that we're dealing with in Common Core curriculum is not just about adopting a consortium of curriculum for our students, of which there are some very good applications. It has to do, again, with issues of sovereignty. At any rate, I must tell you, I am not a politician. I really don't have a great desire to run for this office. I'm compelled by one reason and one reason alone. I see problems. Please go to my website. Let me tell you what I can ask of you as a candidate. I don't ask for your vote. I do not ask for your money. I don't ask for your support in any way. What I ask of you is your involvement, that you take some time to go down to your city council meetings on a regular basis, your county commission meetings on a regular basis, your school board meetings. Become involved and understand the things that are going on. These days are important days. So please visit my website. I've got some great videos. It's not necessarily professionally done, but there's a lot of good information. These are uneasy times, and these things apply to us at a local level. So thanks for taking some time with me today. Let me just say one last thing since I do have some time. There were some questions that will be asked to the county commissioners. Was the Utah Valley Convention Center project successful and cost-effective? I don't know. That will remain to be proved. I am not really in favor of a public-private partnership. I'm more in favor of limited government. It cost $40 million. It increased our bond indebtedness by 21%. Then the other challenge is future growth. Let me just say this. From 2008 to 2010, the population in Utah County, according to Mountain Land Association of Governments, actually diminished by 14,000 people. Anyway, thanks for taking some time and good luck. Thank you.